In this example, we are going to look for the break-even point where the revenue and the cost are the same. The revenue function, the capital Rx, is given by the 25x minus 0.5x squared, and the cost function is given by 5x plus 187.5. So to set up, let's make a plan. Number one, we're gonna solve for x by equating the C and the R, or the revenue equals the cost function. So we solve for x, and then the second step, we're gonna substitute the x into either Rx or Cx, and then the last step, we're gonna form the coordinate, which is x comma the y. In this case, y, it could be either the R or the C. If we have more than one point, we're gonna do the same thing. Depends on how many x that we found in part A, in the first step. Alright, we have a plan, so let's get started. So for the first step, we're gonna let R equals C, or the revenue equals the cost function. So Rx equals the Cx, where Rx is 25x minus 0.5x squared equals the cost, which is 5x added by 187.5. And this turns out to be the equation of the power 2, or the quadratic equation. I'm going to put a note here, quadratic. When you solve quadratic equation, the strategy is leaving one side to be 0 and either use factoring or the quadratic formula to find the unknown x. So in this case, we have the power 2 and the leading coefficient is negative 0.5. We're going to make it positive, or by making in a convenient form. So move all the terms into the right hand side. So we have 0.5 x squared, and then subtracted by 25 both sides. That becomes negative 20x, and then added by 187.5. And then we're gonna solve for x by, let's try factoring. But before factoring, let's make the equation less complicated. The 0.5 means 1/2. So I'm gonna do the quick strategy by multiply all by 2. So we have 0 equals x squared. So if we multiply the whole thing by 2, so the leading coefficient, which is 1, next gonna be 40 times x, and added by 187.5. 187.5 multiplied by 2, that turned out to be 375. So now the equation is cleaner. So either use the quadratic formula or the factoring. If you prefer quadratic formula, remember the x equals negative b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2 times a. In this case, I'm going to use different color just to make a note here. So in our case, the a is 1, b is negative 40, and the c is 375. So replace it in the quadratic formula. So we have excuse me, negative b becomes positive 40 plus minus square root of b squared, or negative of the 40 quantity square, minus 4 times a is 1, and b is excuse me, a is 1, and c is 375. All divided by 2 times a, which is 2, and then clean up. We have 40 plus minus the order of operation, the power of negative 40, that becomes positive term. So we get 4 times 4, that's 16. Subtracted by, so 375 times 4, that is 1500. And the whole thing divided by 2. And break down the problems. The radicand here, that becomes 100. In the square root, take square root of 100 is 10. Therefore, the numerator will be 40 plus minus 10, all divided by 2. If you add 10, gonna be 50 divided by 2, which is 25. If you subtract it by 10, gonna be 30 divided by 2, or 15. So now we have two x values. And the x, remember, x is the number of the item produced or the item sold, so it must be positive. So we keep both of them because they both make sense. Since we have two solutions, I'm gonna find out if x is 15, what y gonna be. Y in this case is either the cost function at 15 or the revenue function at 15. How do we find out? So we just plug in the value. Maybe the one that not the power 2 is less complicated to compute. So 5 times 15 plus 187.5. Let's see what value that we get. It's 262.5. Let me double check one more time. You can use the calculator to check it out. So 262.5, yes. So that means the first coordinate gonna be 15 comma 262.5. Right, one solution. And then the next one, when x equals 25, we do the same thing. We're gonna plug it in the cost function that is easier or not much to compute. So gonna be 5 times 25 added by 187.5 and put in the calculator. So it turns out to be 312.5. Therefore, the second coordinate or the second break-even point is gonna be at 25 and 312.5. So we get two solutions for this problem. So we are done.